is someone who complements you where you're weak. They're detail-orientated, organised, great with managing team, trustworthy. That relationship you often have to build up over time. Melissa and I and her husband, we were business partners in that rock and roll clothing music store, and then she had done some other bits and pieces, and then she came back on and started doing some article writing, and we built that rapport up over time. And then I was like, oh wow, you're better at this than I am. I'd grown the business to one side, and it's almost a little bit embarrassing and humbling to say that Melbourne SEO Services runs better now without me than when it did when I was in there. And I don't know how it happened. I built up this ego thinking that I was doing something magical, but she runs it better than I ever did and more profitably. So finding that person is key. And the more I started to do some research, there are quite a lot of businesses that exhibit this visionary integrator relationship. They're just oftentimes not talked about as much. Up on the screen, we've got Walt Disney, and he had a brother called Roy. Did anyone know that? Yeah, so the brother Roy was the integrator. The visionary was Walt. You look at Henry Ford, he had James Couzens, which is, again, his integrator, that person who would handle the operations. They wouldn't have built Ford Motor Company into the company it is today without the two of them, the pair. Ray Kroc and Fred Turner. Has anyone heard of Fred Turner? So Fred Turner is, well, we know Ray Kroc, he's the guy who started McDonald's, or at least that's what you think, but there's two of them. There was Fred Turner as well. So this relationship in a lot of great companies starts off with the visionary and the integrator. So I just want to give you a few tips on how to find that person and how to identify the team members that you have got so that you can start to set yourself up. We're going to go through identifying potentially who you are. Oftentimes, integrators are more difficult to find. Visionaries are usually the person who starts the business. They'll get it up and running and they'll get it through to a point. They come up with an idea. Everybody's got an idea. Most people can't get that idea up and running, but once you get to a point, the integrator will reveal themselves. They're actually more difficult to find, in my experience, than it is to find the business owner. So how do you find that person? Have a look at that book, Rocket Fuel. They do give you some ideas. The main thing that I want to get you to take away here is I don't want you to be the square peg trying to fit into the round hole if you're the wrong person. So we have this thing I call the Team Revealer System, the TRS. And who's got a mobile phone here? Surely everybody has a mobile phone. Okay, so we'll get your mobile phone out. Go to systemology.com/TRS. There's no opt-in or anything like that. This will just ask you a series of questions. It'll take you just a minute or two to answer. And then at the end, it'll say, oh, you have integrator traits, you have visionary traits, oh, you might be a good systems champion. And I'd just like to get a bit of a feel for whether or not that kind of matches with you. So it's systemology.com, TRS, Team Revealer System. Rather than doing the microphone, just who got a visionary? Yep, cool, good part of the room. Who got an integrator? Cool. And there's some little variations in there. Did you get, like, some have low capacity and some are low capacity? So if you're an integrator and you're low capacity, then you probably need some sort of systems champion to help you execute. But we'll talk a little bit about systems champions as we go. But the real takeaway here is I just want you to understand who you are, and then you can start to figure out who's going to complement you and give you permission to say, if you're not a systems person, that's okay. Let's just go find the person who would fit that criteria really well.